Hey peeps, my name is Naisha and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to talk about Knock Knock, which is one of Pixelberry's chat stories that they have just put out not too long ago. I know the first one was Text from High School Story, Knock Knock, and then The Shadow. But this one is going to be about Knock Knock. Now basically, Knock Knock is essentially about Millie and her group of friends. One of her friends decides to throw a Halloween party at their house, and of course, Millie and her other friends go, and what turns out to be should be one of the best times of their lives ends up being horror because there's a killer on the loose that is basically murdering Millie and her friends one by one. Now there will be spoilers because I am going to tell you what happens and also give you, tell you what I think about the story. So first thing first, let's get into it. So you have been warned. I am about to spoil it. So if you want to play this yourself, you can play this on choices, either on your Android phone or your iPhone. So let's begin. So Knock Knock starts off with Millie. And basically she's talking to her friend Rima. They discussing this Halloween party. I'm thinking either Kyle or Loki, one of the other friends, because it's Millie, Rima, Kyle, Loki, Tara, and James. Now, Tara and James are the two love interests that you could pick from. And in this one, I chose Millie to go for James. So anyway, Millie and Rima are talking about how, Millie should basically make a move on James because, it's no big secret that Millie and James are crushing on each other. So, of course, they're talking about that. They also talking about the costume that they're going to wear at this big Halloween bash. Now, while they are talking about this, Millie gets an unknown text from an unknown number. And of course, the person is being creepy. The person is saying knock, knock, making creepy jokes and all that stuff. And of course, Millie thinks it's a prank done by Rima because every time she and Rima discuss something, the unknown person would basically say the exact thing that Rima and Millie were talking about. So of course, Millie, it basically asks Rima, is this her? That's the unknown texter who is texting her these creepy stuff. And Rima's like, girl, no, that ain't me. I ain't doing no mess like that. And things like that. And again, Millie just tries to ignore it and goes to the party. Now, I still think it's funny as ever that they're at the party, but they are texting each other in different spots in the party and things like that. I just thought that's funny. And so that's why I said I actually like this story a whole lot, but I'll talk more about this after I finish, telling about the story. So anyway, they're at this party. Of course, Millie is texting James. And not only that, but there's also a group a group chat that all her Millie and all her friends are in. So of course she's chatting in that with her friends, and the unknown person pops up. And of course, Millie tells Rima and the group, like, see, this is the person, this is the creepy person who keeps texting me the stuff. And of course, the group's thinking, like, haha, this is some game and things like that. But things get serious, especially when I want to say Rima and somebody else finds, like, blood, and they don't know where the blood is coming from and stuff. They find something that looks like red blood, and they're not sure. And not only that, but yeah, they find something like red blood. Again, Millie still thinks this is someone trying to prank them on Halloween, and some of the other people in the group think that as well. They're not really taking it serious. It doesn't get taken serious until Loki ends up being missing, because Loki, I'm thinking this is his house, like, where the party has began, and so where the party's at, because, like, the unknown texter tells all of them that he's in the blue room, and Loki's like, no one ain't supposed to be in that room. So he said, you know what, I'm about to go and check this out. So Loki ends up checking it out, which, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like he should have brought somebody with him if he was gonna check it out, but he doesn't do that. So he ends up checking out, and of course the group doesn't hear from Loki. They freak out a bit and things like that. But not only that, but Millie thinks that Loki is pulling a prank on them, because this is something that Loki, like, seems to do. Side note, I like the fact that one of the people in this friend group name is Loki. I just think that's funny. But that's for another time. Okay, so back to the story. So of course, everyone decides to do their own thing and things like that. Millie and James end up having some moment to themselves, and James is telling Millie that, like, this is kind of weird and stuff, like this whole thing that's going on, because again, while James and Millie are texting each other, the unknown texter is still replying to Millie and basically being very creepy and scary. And of course, Millie is telling James this, and James is like, yo, it's crazy how this person knows exactly what we're saying. Like, something, it just isn't right about this and stuff. And of course, James is like, man, I hate that this is happening, because, I was going to use this opportunity to basically make a move. That's literally what he says. He doesn't say those actual words, but I'm just paraphrasing. And of course, she's basically saying she was going to do the same thing too, because Rima, told her that she should make a move. And so, of course, they both decide that, like, to, like, hey, why not take this opportunity to actually hang out with each other and just, like, vibe. Like, so there's a diamond option for you to basically hang out with them, but they don't do anything crazy. I want to say it's kind of fades to black. Like, they don't do anything sexually, anything like that, but it just seems like it just cuts to Rima. Yeah, it cuts to Rima basically texting and asking where Millie is and things like that. And so she's like, hey, where are you? She's freaking out because something has happened and things like that. So, they texting. And so, come to find out, I want to say they find out that Loki is dead, and they do end up finding his body and stuff like that. So yeah, they find out that Loki is dead. that this unknown texter is the killer, and it seems like he is picking them off one by one. And not only that, but he's messing with the cell phone so no one can call the police or anybody for help. And even the people who are downstairs partying, because mind you, they are still at a party. People are actually partying while there's a killer on loose, and the killer is basically killing Millie friends one by one. It seems like they just picking them off. And so yeah. So now it's just Kyle, Rima, Tara, James, and Millie. It was 6 friends, it was down to 5. And of course, they're freaking out because they separated again and stuff like that. So not only that, I know Kyle and Rima was together at one point. They separated. Tara is on her own. Same thing with James and Millie, because like they had whatever the little thing, they had a little moment and then they separated. So so then, well, no, I don't think they separated. They do separate at one point, but I don't think they separate. Yeah, I feel like they don't separate yet. Because I want to say that the unknown Texas was plotting to basically kill Tara next. Tara, to kill Tara next. And there's a choice you can make: either be together with Kyle and Rima, like basically try to save Tara. And of course, I chose try to save Tara and stuff like that, because it's like, and then plus James was with Millie at the time. So yeah, so Millie and James go to try to save Tara, but unfortunately she ends up dead because she ends up being stabbed and to death. Not to death, but she ends up being stabbed. That's what killed her. And of course, Millie takes the knife. So it seems like if you do choose to try to save Tara, you're not gonna save Tara, unfortunately, which I think sucks and stuff, because I really wanted to save Tara and things like that. I really did. That's the main reason why I chose that option, because again, I'm assuming you can only choose one out of the two. It's not like you could choose one and then go back and choose the other. No, there's only 2 options you could choose, and I'm assuming it would affect the story. I'm not sure, but I know I chose saving Tara, and you don't end up saving her, but you end up gaining a weapon. So I was sad that I wasn't able to save Tara, but I'm glad that we did get a weapon, so at least we could have one up on the killer. So then James and Millie, they get separated. Of course, Rima and Kyle, they get separated as well. They get locked in a room. So now it's down to 4 people, and all of them are separated. Not to mention, somehow James gets injured. I know Millie gets knocked out. And also Rima also gets knocked out. And things like that. So there's a lot of moments where they're getting knocked out, and yeah, and then of course James is injured and stuff like that. So so then when Millie comes to because she got knocked out and everything, she tells Rima, Kyle, and James that the killer knocked her out, put her in this room and stuff like that. And so of course the unknown texter is still texting them and saying 2 down and things like that. Just saying out of pocket stuff. Which I'm gonna be honest, I ain't gonna lie. The unknown Texan and killer really like he had his funny moments, and also there were moments where I'm like irritated. Like it's like, and not only that, but I'm not gonna lie, it made it a lot easier, in my opinion, to figure out who was the one who was the one that was doing this and stuff like that. Like it was easy to know who was the killer. But I digress. So then, of course, the unknown killer basically is saying like who's next to get murdered and things like that. And it seems like that Cal is next. And of course, Millie's like, no way. Two of her friends already got murdered. She's not gonna have any more getting murdered and stuff like that. So she's like, no, no, no. She's going, like, she wanted to save Kyle. So she asks Kyle, where is he? And he tells her and stuff. And then she gets to the room that he was talking about, and she was like, wait a minute, you're not in this room. No one's in this room. And then Rima tells Millie that, like, of course Kyle was in the room because he wasn't going to tell Millie where he was because he knew that Millie would come after him and try to save him, and he wasn't going to risk her life. So of course Millie is upset about it, and it seems like Kyle is dead because Kyle ain't saying nothing. So now Millie and Rima, they're talking on their own and stuff like that, and Rima's like they both are agreeing with each other, saying like, they need to do something. They need to get out of this place. Like they gotta do something because like this person is not stopping until all of them are dead. So of course Rima was like, since she's in this room where she could get like in the tree and then climb out the tree and just run to like the neighbor's house, she decides like, you know what, she's going to escape. And she does. She does escape. And of course, she's asking Millie how should she escape. And like, should she just bust the window or should she just, do it slowly? Millie's like, open it slowly because you don't want to like attract the killer. So of course, Rima does this. She ends up being successful, and she's in the tree, and she tells Rima and James as well. She says, "Oh my goodness," she sees Kyle's body and stuff like that. He's hanging, and so, of course, everyone is sad, of course, because it's like now there's only 3 friends left: Millie, James, and Rima, and stuff like that. And Rima, she was able to make it away and basically, get away and go to a neighbor's house and call the cops. And she says that the cops are on their way. So now Millie and James, all they got to do is survive. It seems like Millie is safe, so she doesn't, and she wanted to go back for her friends, but Millie was like, no, you safe. You stay safe. And I love that about Millie. That's what I like about Millie. I was like, because it's like, yeah, girl, don't you come back in here and try to save nobody, girl. You safe. You did what you supposed to do, which was call 911, okay? That's it. Don't go back and try to be the hero. So I was happy about that. But then Millie is talking to Rima, and she tells Rima that she thinks that James could be the killer. Now she thinks, she's not sure and stuff, but she thinks because like not only has the killer, because the killer has been giving her like little hints on who the killer could be, saying that like she knows the killer, and it just seems like the killer is so familiar with her, so she feels like she knows this person. She feels like it's somebody she knows, and she's not really sure if it's James, but it just seems like it's somebody she knows. And so she's like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out who this is and things like that. So she also tells James about this, like she thinks it's him, and James was like, okay, why can't it be Rima and stuff like that, or it could be her and things like that. But Millie was like, yeah, no, it's not me. She knows it's not Rima, and she begins to think, and she's like, wait a minute, hold on, pause. There's a lot of things that have happened. Now, there are a lot of details that I failed to mention, but it's most likely because like I forgot the tidbits. But basically, like I said, the unknown killer has been messaging Millie and saying certain little things. Um and um while Millie is talking to James and Rima, but mostly James. No, I want to say Rima. Yeah. While she's talking to Rima, because like she tells James, like she thinks it's him. Of course, he sounds a little hurt because he's like, dang, I thought we was having a connection. You think it's me, and stuff like that. But she goes back to talking to Rima, and she was like, you know what? I feel like I know who it is. And come to find out, she's like, okay, first of all, the unknown killer, like the first person he mentioned, like, well, not first person he mentioned, but he said something along the lines of like how Kyle will always get them out of the situation. Talked about being a clown and things like that. Not only that, but like knowing Millie, and then she puts, and then she tells me, and she was like how they find the other two friends, Tara and Loki. Loki body was in the closet while Tara's body was in the attic. No one could find a body unless they go into these places. However, Millie was like, but Kyle's body was like out for show. Like Rima was able to see it. Like it just like it seemed like his body was out like on display, which was odd because it seemed like the killer was like, hiding everybody else's body, but Kyle's body it seemed like was all out and open. That don't make no sense. So Rima was like, what you saying? And then she was like, well, Kyle's not dead. He's the killer. And come to find out, the killer is Kyle. And I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking that too. Because I was like, yeah, I agree. Because, again, I already knew for a fact that it was not going to be the love interest. I just knew it wasn't gonna be, this ain't Junior. If you know, you know. This isn't Junior. So I was like, I knew the love interest in this story was not going to be the killer. Like, absolutely not. I also knew the best friend wasn't going to be the killer either, because, to me, like, choices don't really do stories like that. Like, if I'm being honest, they don't do stories where, like, the best friend is the killer or, like, the love interest is the killer. Like, the only thing they have done where like a potential love interest or someone who seemed to be a love interest would do something horrible would be one of the freshman series story, which is Junior. In that book, there was someone that seemed like he was a potential love interest, but he turned out to be a horrible person and jackass. So yeah, but yeah, that's the only that's the closest to Pixieberry like having somebody doing something foul, but like actually killing people, yeah. So and then of course like Rima basically getting knocked out before Kyle and stuff like that. I don't know. It just seemed like, and then like being locked in places. I'm sorry, this just sounds like somebody who could knock a person out and then put them in different places. So yeah, it was Kyle, and of course Millie. She she was like, oh, well, I ain't gonna let Kyle get away with this and also try to kill like me and James. So of course she goes to find Kyle. Of course Kyle got James like a gun pointed to his head and stuff, and like saying all this stuff. Well, not a gun. I mean a knife to his neck. Sorry. And of course you could, well, there's a diamond option where you could like cause like Rima asks Millie what's going on, and of course Millie tells her like Kyle he's dead, and then of course Rima's like what happened, and then like the diamond choice is either like go into details or like not go into details. I chose to go into details because the diamond choice only costs 10 diamonds, and that's not much and stuff. So I was like, okay. And I could always, I mean, I was going to get the 10 gems back and stuff. Cause like, choices, I mean, Pixelberry 9 has things where you can earn gems multiple ways. So without having to pay a whole bunch of money. So, but anyway, Millie goes into details and saying how she has a standoff with Kyle because Kyle was holding like a knife to James' neck, and of course there was some type of tussle where James was able to get from under Kyle's thumb, and of course Kyle comes at Millie. Millie has a weapon, so she ends up fighting back, and push comes shove, Kyle ends up dead, and stuff like that, and it seemed like now it would not seem like, but James and Millie and Rima have survived this horror experience. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually did enjoy the story, like especially it being in text form and stuff like that. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this, but I actually did. It was nice reading the texts and stuff like that. Especially like I actually got chills from reading this because it was actually pretty good to me. Like it was pretty decent. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought it was pretty dope. It kind of puts me. It kind of makes me think of the short story that Pixelberry did that involved the gang from the freshman series and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of that short story. So yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I liked it. I would give this definitely, I'd be like, it's a 4 out of 5 stars and stuff like that. Mainly because this was in text form and this was short and simple and to the point. So yeah, definitely give this 4 out of 5 stars. And I would recommend people to read it, especially since it is, spooky season. Halloween is definitely coming up soon. So it's like, if you want a cute little short story to read, especially, during spooky season, I would definitely say check out Knock Knock own choices. Story you play is a nice little story to keep you entertained for a few minutes or seconds if you are a fast reader. Also, I like the fact that the diamond choices, there's not that many diamond choices. I want to say what, it's like 2 or 3, and it seems like it skips a chapter. Like it'll probably be like 1 or 2 chapters. You won't get any diamond choice, and then the third chapter you get a diamond choice. But it'd be like you only get one diamond choice per chapter, and it seems like it's not every chapter. So I thought that was pretty good and decent. And you also still get 15 diamonds after you are done reading this. So I do think this is, hey, easy way to get 15 diamonds. And if you don't want to like spend 10, that's fine. um I don't know what happens if you don't do the diamond choices, but I did the diamond choices. And again, like I said, um I didn't really use that many gems with this one. So I think that's another reason why I like it, because I didn't really use any gems. And that's why I kind of wish that Pixelberry would get back to, like, of course, like, have a little gem choices here and there. But again, choices should enhance a story, not make or break a story. But that's all I have to say about Knock Knock. I actually enjoy it. And let me know down in the comments below if you enjoyed Knock Knock, or if you have played Knock Knock, or are you going to play it? Just let me know. Also, who did you choose? Did you choose Tara or James? Just let me know. Um, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see